Okay.
Welcome back to Nurse Talk with Martha and Tessie, where we are making history, we're transforming nursing, and we are elevating our profession to the next level. Thank you all for joining us again today. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Catrina, and
Hi.
Katrina has over 23 years of experience as a registered nurse, and she is more than qualified to tell us about this industry. I am so
Oh,
excited. I am so excited for her to share her story. And usually I'll tell you where Katrina and I met, but
mhm.
I'll let Katrina tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Katrina. Okay,
Hi,
Katrina.
everybody. How are you? Hi, Martha. Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited. Yay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I am originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, born and raised. I went to high school there, grew up there. And then once I graduated high school, I went to LSU, undergraduate in Baton Rouge. And then from there, I went to nursing school at LSU Health Sciences Center in New Orleans. And once I graduated from nursing school, I moved to the Big DFW in Dallas. And I've been working out here ever since, all over the Metroplex. And Martha and I met, I think we said in 2007. We don't know. It was a while ago, but we still look good.
Uh-huh.
And we met in Fort Worth working at John Peter Smith Hospital. It was my
Yeah.
first travel nursing assignment. I was working in the admission nursery and the newborn nursery, and they had a baby explosion that day. I don't know. I think it was like 13 babies born within an hour. It was crazy. And there were more babies coming. And they were like, Katrina, we're going to get you some help. And all of a sudden, I see this wonderful, bright, smiling face. And who was it? Ta da! Martha, the angel to rescue. And we just had a great time just lining those babies up, getting them assessed, getting them out on the floor. And we just kind of bonded and became friends and just kind of laughed our way through it. That 13 weeks we were there. I think it was 13 weeks we were there, but and we just kept
Yes.
being in touch and became good friends.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a crazy, crazy experience, but a good
Yes. Yes, we weathered that storm.
one. We did. We did. I don't think I still have seen that many babies born, like
I
back to
know.
back. I don't think I've ever seen that many.
I know. It was like we would average, like you said, 13
Yeah.
to up to 20,
20.
20 babies per
Yeah,
shift.
first
It
shift.
was
Crazy
crazy.
busy in the little teeny tiny nursery. It barely two of us fit in there, but it was pretty cool.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Well, Katrina, one of the things that I remember about you when I first met you is that how cool, calm, and collected you would stay under pressure. Oh my goodness. I was
Oh.
like, oh my gosh, she just looks like nothing ever bothers her. Where did that come from?
I will say I get that from my mom for sure. She's very calm, cool, and collected, and I just kind of mirrored her my whole life. She always told us to kind of remain calm under pressure. That way, you can always collect your thoughts. You don't ever want to speak out in anger. You can't take your words back. Um, so that's just something I've always been able to do for myself. It just helps me stay centered and grounded, just to remain calm when chaos is happening. I always feel like somebody has to remain calm. And when you do that, that kind of helps everybody else kind of stay focused too, that we're not all kind of like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Yes.
So it just kind of helps to kind of center and focus. And then we can all be like, okay, let's try this, let's do that. And then go from there.
Right.
So I
Right.
don't know. I just
Exactly.
feel blessed to be fortunate, I guess, to have that spirit and that she taught me that.
Right, right, right. And it helps so much when you're a traveler to have that type of calmness and
Hmm.
and to stay cool and collected because a lot of times you may not have someone else to ask
That's right.
questions. Because I
That's
think it was
true.
just the two of us and maybe one staff person
I think so. I
there.
remember the charge nurse, and that was it. And that's why she was like, "Oh, girl, we got to get some help." You in there by
Right.
yourself because she was managing the patients and trying to figure out where all these babies were going to go. And so then you came
Yes.
in and we were there just kind of lining them up and be like, I'll take this and you do that. We got it. And somehow we
Right.
got them on
Right.
out of there. It was kind of a smooth, like a little working machine. We did it. It
Right.
was
Right.
exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was. Now, Katrina, where do you work now? What's primarily been your focus in nursing?
Well, I have worked in NICU all these years. I did do pediatric home health care, but I've always worked in the NICU and I've worked in different levels, level two, level three, and now currently level four. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I kind of stuck in that area because I just love those little tiny babies.
Right. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. And with your personality, that matches well because that can tend to be a high emotional and intense environment, especially from families.
Oh, yeah. It is stressful.
Uh-huh.
Even
Mm-hmm.
during those stressful times, I feel like we always come together and work together. But I love working with the families. That's one of my joys is being with them and getting to know them over the months that we get to take care of their little tiny baby and help them get through the scariest time of their life because that's
Right.
something they weren't expecting. Some of them do know that they may happen depending on their health concerns or issues that they have before delivery, but a lot of them is just kind of a surprise. So it's
Right.
nice to get to know them and work with them. And I definitely love teaching them how to care for their babies. That's one of the things I really enjoy, especially when they get bigger and just teaching them how to care for them and get ready to go home and be full-time parents. So that's a good joy that I still love to this day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that there are a lot of challenges sometimes with the moms when they are first realize that they have this little baby and this baby's not going to go home? Could you tell us a little bit about what you do in the NICU?
Oh yeah, in the beginning, of course, you have these little tiny, sometimes 23, 24 weekers, and then they're not able to touch their baby or hold them or even do skin to skin in the beginning because they're so fragile. They're intubated. They're hooked up to all kinds of machines, IV fluids. And it's scary, so they don't even know what to do. But usually we just kind of guide them in the beginning to let them know that it's okay to talk to their baby, that they can put their hand in there and touch their little tiny hand. And as we go through the process of their baby explaining the process, the procedures that are going to happen, trying to I guess prepare them, just tell them we're going to take it day by day. And as their baby starts growing and getting stronger and comes off the ventilator, we continue to allow them to teach them how to do diaper changes, which is scary for them too, because they still have lines and or teach them how to take their temperature or teach them to do oral care if mom is pumping and getting breast milk, or even if she's doing donor, we give them like the little oral swabs to clean their mouth, the same thing you would do with adults to let them learn how to suck, and they get excited about that, all those little milestones. And definitely like when they get
Right.
to first hold them on their chest skin to skin, that's like a beautiful moment for them. So we try to
Mhm.
prepare them for those steps of what to expect the best we can, but of course it's emotional. They're on an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes things don't go as expected. Their babies can get sick, they could end up having surgery, they could get blood, they can go through all those things, or they could even have a loss as well, and that's hard too. But I think we just do our best to communicate and to let them know we're here, that we are want to answer whatever questions we can, and have the doctors there, the nurse practitioners to support them as well as social work, lactation. um, so we just kind of work together as a team. I think it's just like
Right.
being in an adult ICU but just having a little tiny baby, um, where you have
Hmm.
that big team of people together, and you're managing the care, because that's what it's like. Because sometimes our parents are like, I cannot believe this little tiny baby has to go through all of these things. Like, it's just like being a
Yeah.
little tiny adult. And I said, that's true, but
Hmm.
they're tiny and they're strong and they fight and they survive. And it's pretty amazing.
Right, right. It,
Yeah,
it really is.
it
You
really
know,
is. It's a little miracle.
yeah, yeah, it really is. It really
Hmm.
is. I think back I have we know that I have
Hmm.
nieces that were born as triplets. They were triplets and they were
Oh,
born
yeah.
at 26
Hmm.
weeks. And it is amazing to me, the trends and the different changes, because it's been almost 30 years
Oh yeah.
ago, and I know that things now have changed so much. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the trends you're seeing in the NICU?
Yeah, some of the changes we've had for sure is that being able to resuscitate babies at a younger age. I think like when I started off, it was 24 weekers. Now we're doing 23. Sometimes it could be closer, questionable 22, 22 plus, closer to
Wow.
that border of 23 weeks, which is pretty amazing because before, when I started out, that wasn't even an option. I remember, yeah, like I said, I remember reading articles and stuff in Japan that they were actually trying to resuscitate 23 weekers, and sometimes they were successful, sometimes they weren't. But actually, we're having a very high rate of success due to just improved methods of caring for the babies, just learning how to intubate them faster. Maybe they're not always on the ventilator. They can put them on, now they call it NIPV, which is a version of a vent that's like a CPAP, but you can do backup rates and everything on there. The way they heat the babies now, we have those pads to warm them up a little bit quicker. Before, I remember we
Right.
used to use Saran wrap and something that was like Aquaphor. We used to slather them in that and cover them, and they looked like they were in flypaper.
Yes.
They would be sticking against the paper. So now we do something a little bit better. So now we have better isolates and incubators for them, like those giraffe beds. We definitely
Mhm.
moved forward to having cameras at the bedside, which is pretty cool. We never had that at the beginning. We used to have disposable cameras where you could take pictures of the babies or little moments and different things like, oh, this was their first sponge bath, or oh, I did their footprints, oh, look, they kind of smiled at me today. And then the parents would get to develop that film. For those that don't know, it was a disposable camera, and you would have to take it to like CVS or something and drop it in a bag and develop the film, and then you would see maybe you'd have some good pictures, maybe you wouldn't. Sometimes they weren't always the best. But now
Right.
they can look at their baby 24/7 on the bedside camera. We
Mhm.
definitely have been able to use breast milk more,
Mhm.
because we have that mother's milk bank, that donor breast milk, where we have moms that have such an excellent supply that they're able to fill out an application, um, go ahead and be a part of this program where they have to go through rigorous testing, blood tests. They answer all kinds of questions. They test their breast milk. And then, depending on their supply, they're able to bring that milk to a milk bank. And then they pasteurize it. And then they're able to use that and make it into different calories and freeze it and then send it out to different hospitals if parents consent for their baby to have that breast milk, which is impressive. And we're also using different fortifiers like Prolacta too, that you use breast milk, which is helping our babies to have better digestion too and helping them grow better. So it's been a lot of amazing things that's happened over the years to help our babies grow and get bigger and do better.
Yes, yes. And can you just explain to them what prolacta is or what it does to the milk, for those that may not
The Prolacta
know?
is it's just like another additive that we add to add calories to like the breast milk. Like breast milk is 20 calories. Some people may know it as like a formula additive, but this one is actually where you are using the breast milk with this prolacta because it's more of a milk based. I think it's more related to our mom's milk. And so you add breast milk to that and it adds extra calories. So you can add like 2 more calories to the breast milk if it's 20 or 4 or 6 or even 10. And it just helps them to easily digest it and also gain weight. It helps them with their brain development, their growth, bone growth. Because our little tiny ones, we have to grow them from the outside. Since they came early, they said, "Hey, we're here." So now they decided I'm
Right.
coming out early. And so now we have to figure out a way to help them grow and be strong and bigger outside of mom. So that's one of the fortifiers we use to help them grow too. Besides different formulas, we still use Neosure powder and Similac or something called liquid HMF2, which is another
Right.
fortifier.
It's amazing. It's
It's amazing.
amazing because it really is, because I don't think they had those they had additives
Yeah.
back then, but it
Mhm.
wasn't as advanced as it is now. It's just
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
It's changed a
Mm-hmm.
lot. I think I don't I don't know how old Prolacta is, but I know it's something newer over the last has it been like at least the last 5 or 10 years, I think, that it's come about. Because in our
Okay.
unit, I just remember I don't even remember if we used the liquid HMF. I'm not really sure. I don't remember what we used to fortify the breast milk with. Probably powder. I don't even
Right.
know.
I think it
I know
was.
we always had a lot
Mm-hmm.
of IV fluids and lipids and things like that
Right.
to make the babies get bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't really recall. Isn't that sad? I don't remember.
Right. It's
I
okay.
know we probably used formula too. I don't remember if it was
Right.
HMF. Probably it was some kind of liquid HMF, I think. I'm sure it was.
Right. But things, that's the thing about it. Things change so
Hmm.
quickly that
They
it's
do.
just like, okay,
You
uh-huh.
just kind of jump on board. That's a part of
Right.
nursing. We're just changing all the time. We're kind of
Right.
changing and growing and adapting.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
computer charting, that is something that has changed
Ah.
too for us as well,
Hmm.
like for all nurses, but computer charting, because we
Right.
used to chart on paper. We didn't have
Uh-huh.
to chart in the computer. That was a big change.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. And even that for some nurses, that's a huge learning curve,
Oh yeah.
to deal
Yeah.
with the computers, uh-huh, because
That's
it
so
gets, and I
true.
remember, uh-huh,
It was a big deal.
yes, it was, yeah, uh-huh. But Katrina, in nursing in general, what are
Mhm.
some things that you could think of that you would want to change that you think that could make things a little better?
Um, to help nursing be better, I think for us as nurses, for sure, since we are salaried workers in Texas, we don't have a union, right? I know
Mhm.
California
Right,
is one of the biggest unions. Even though I know a
right,
union doesn't fix everything, I just think since we're as nurses, we're such a big group, we don't have the opportunity to have like pensions or the
right.
opportunity to kind of retire when we plan on retiring. A lot of people I see the trend is that you want to retire, but then you might have to go part time, or some people do retire and end up having to come back in the workforce. I wish it was a way for us to have more security in that, to know that we would be able to retire, to have benefits. Um, I don't know how we'd make that change except for advocating to our employers, I guess, when they always have us do those patient or employee surveys to say, like, we need better benefits, we need better 401k plans or better retirement plans to help us kind of meet our goals. Because when you first start out as a nurse, I think we always worry about our professional goal. Like,
Mhm.
oh, like I'm gonna graduate, maybe I might get my certification, I'm gonna maybe get a master's, which is a trend right now. I feel like a
Right.
lot of people are leaving
Hmm.
the bedside to pursue their masters because of just the work life balance too. It's hard
Right.
sometimes to be working, even though we do. People always say, "Oh, y'all have great schedules. You only work 3 nights a week," but usually what we do in 3 nights or 3 day shifts is what people do in a 5 day work week. So it's a high
Right.
acuity stress job, and you miss out on holidays and weekends and things like that. So I think it's important for us to try to find out a good life work balance, and to learn how to also advocate for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, mental, physical, spiritual health, all those things, because that's something I think as nurses we don't do. We always worry about caring for everybody else, but we don't forget to care about ourselves too. So that's important. Um,
Mhm.
and I think those are all good things. And even as a new nurse coming out of school, those are things to think about too. Like,
Right. Right.
um, what kind of nursing do you want to do? Just thinking about your scheduling. I hear a lot of new nurses talk about that. Like, man, this is stressful. Like trying to do a 6 week schedule. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, let alone 6 weeks or 3 months from now. I don't know. And trying to figure
Hmm.
out those things too. Just, you do have to work Monday through Sunday. It's 365. We work weekends. We work holidays, but that's not something
Right.
you can change unless you do leave the bedside and maybe get a case management job, or you work in a clinic. Um, I think we do have to figure out how to have our better pay rates for nurses to keep improving our pay so we can have nurse retention too, because people are burning out.
Right.
That's something we don't talk about is nurse burnout. And just learning how to manage that too, like learning how to deal with the stress at work and separate it and how to take care of yourself outside of work so you can keep working and stay there to care for your patients because we have some amazing nurses and without them we wouldn't be able to do it. And we need some great nurses to
Right.
take care of us too.
Yes. That is very, very
Yeah.
important. Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
We do. We do.
Mhm. Yes, yes, and we have to encourage one another,
Hmm.
especially those that are coming behind us. I think as we grow and mature, then we realize, okay, I need to make sure that I'm encouraging other people to come into the
Oh yeah.
industry. We know that no matter where we work, things may not be just beautiful all the
Right.
way
They're not
around,
perfect. Hmm.
but there has to be something, within that makes you even want to become a nurse. I think you told me that was that always your goal to become a nurse?
Not at first. My first goal was that I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. I thought I
Right.
wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. Um,
Uh-huh.
because I just thought, oh, I love kids, and that's something I was excited to do. And it wasn't until I don't remember how old I was, but my great grandmother, she ended up having to start taking insulin because she was a diabetic and she got really bad
Mm,
arthritis and she wasn't able to give herself her insulin injection. And I was with her that day
mm.
and she's like, honey, I'm going to need you to give me my insulin shot. Can you draw it up and give it to me? And I was so scared. I was like, I don't know if I
Wow.
can do this. And she said, yes, you can. I'm going to talk you through. And I said, oh my gosh. And so she talked me through what to do. And she just said, now just poke me, just do it quick. Don't think about it. And I did it. And she's like, oh my gosh, you were so good. Maybe you should think about being a nurse. I think you'd be a great one. And
Oh.
I said, oh, really? I never thought about that. And at the time, I had my cousin Monica at the time was going to nursing school and she became a nurse. And I started talking to her a little bit about what that was and what the role was and what she did because she worked in an adult unit. But I decided, well, maybe that's something I should think about. And so
Right.
when I was in middle school, they offered this organization came in to talk to us, Health Occupation Students of America, which I think they still have hosted in some places. I don't know. I know in our city they don't have it anymore, but it was a cool program that came when I was in eighth grade, and it was like something you could sign up for in high school, and you would go to school and you would learn how they would have like a medical class where you could learn medical terminology. They would do like first aid, CPR. You still took your math and science and things like that, so it was kind of introducing you to that if you were interested in it. And we would also have like these disaster like these disaster drills that we would do every year where they would kind of have like this mass casualty situation like oh there's a major car wreck and everybody would come together and you would have to kind of triage people to kind of prepare you for being in the medical field. So that was a really good experience, so I'm glad that I did because I really enjoyed that.
That's good. That's
Yeah, it
really
was pretty
good.
cool. Yeah, so then I kind of was like, well, maybe kindergarten teacher is not for me. Maybe I'll just go ahead and go to nursing school. So I'm
You,
glad I did.
yes, yes, you were kind of guided to the
Yeah, I was
path that
guided
you
along.
needed.
So, and I think that's
Yes,
a good
yes.
thing is to really, I guess one of the things is continue to guide and encourage in a positive way because
Hmm.
I don't think any job is without its stressors. But if it's something
Hmm.
that we find other men, women, whoever wants to be a nurse, if they feel that passion and that drive to kind of continue to encourage and nurture that. And also, I think as nurses, when we're in the medical field, to be preceptors, to be supportive. I remember when
Yes.
I was in nursing school, you remember how they say, oh, you have to eat your young, which I never understood what that meant, but I always knew I had some hard ones, some hard preceptors sometimes,
Right.
or our teachers were kind of difficult. But I think if we have more positive and supporting environments to show them that we do care about each other, we do have teamwork, and we do want you to be your best. And you have a good, positive working environment too, that they'll help us retain nurses even in stressful units that they work on, because I don't know of any part of nursing that's just easy. I think
Right.
it's all pretty stressful. Yeah.
That's for
But
sure.
yeah,
Yes.
but we're blessed to be diverse and be in different places. Thank goodness. You don't all have to be in the hospital, but um,
Right.
I think we just have to keep encouraging and supporting people to go
Right.
into medicine, that it is
It
worthwhile.
isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it's that part of you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
earlier about burnout. One
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing about this industry, if you get burned out in one area, you can
Right.
always go to another
Yeah.
area
That's
and
what's so
have a
good
whole.
about us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, you're so right. You can always go to
Hmm.
something else, which is beautiful. Or
Right.
you can be happy and stay
Hmm.
like me and be in the same place for 20 years.
And that's beautiful.
And that's good too. But I
Yes.
like that about nursing, that you can just push yourself, and even if you're tired, you can go back to school if you want to do something
Right.
different, or you can do case management, or you can work in a clinic, or you can go to research or public health or do home health care or whatever it is that your heart desires. Work with geriatric
Yes.
patients or in ICU or ED, or it's just like
Hmm.
it's so many things that you can do with that degree. And I encourage anybody, especially some of the younger girls that I work with that are going back to school, and they tell me, I'm going to get my master's as a nurse practitioner. I'm going to go for nursing informatics, which I'm not 100% what that means exactly, but I think it's computers. That's what one of them told me. And I was like, that is so cool. You go for it, because we need some help in that area for sure. We need to learn how to use
Yes.
these computers. They're hard.
Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. It's a
Yes.
opportunity for everybody. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Katrina, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
sure. Thank
It's
you
this
for
is
that.
it's just beautiful to see nurses in the industry that still enjoy doing what they do, and because I think that brings comfort to people when they
Hmm.
know that someone enjoys, and it's quite obvious that you enjoy it and you're still passionate about it. So
Oh,
thank you.
thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. It was good talking to everybody. I hope that was helpful to some out there and it encourages them to keep going too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Don't forget to share.
Right.
And we will definitely see you on the next episode. And take care for now. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Thank you.